Hello, everyone, and hello, Drauf Geschießen. This is the first time I see you in the chat. Are you a recurring subscriber, or did you just found me? You're just happy to see me. Hope it's the latter. Maybe my channel is growing. Holy crap, maybe I'll get 5 subscribers this year. You're going to see so good. But I was thinking about a very important topic, and I was discussing it with Arch. He came up with the idea, which is really, really brilliant. Okay? And I want you guys, okay, homework. Do any of you have a leftist friend? I just need 2 of you that have leftist friend. Come on, there's 30 people in the chat. Some of you must have a leftist friend. Maybe a family member that's forced to interact with you. Maybe an employee which has to put up with you because you're their boss. I just want a leftist friend. Do I have any people in the chat that have leftist friends in their life? Come on, talk to me. Oh my god, GG. Oh, and Anthony. Holy crap, your neighbor. All right, we're in business. We're in business. Now, the selection needs to continue. Out of the people with leftist friends, how many have watched Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon? Your wife. Jesus Christ, Nuzlocke. Jesus Christ, Nuzlocke. I pity you. How do you get up in the morning? How do you... Oh my god. Does she know you're watching me? Does she allow you to watch me? Does your wife's boyfriend know that you watch this show, Nuzlocke? Does he allow it? What does the bull say regarding the fact that you watch my stuff? See? Tell your leftist friends that they failed at leftism if they don't watch Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. Man, this is the major problem with woke shows, right? Like, they're made for a leftist audience, and the leftist audience don't want to watch it. I got a feeling the only people that watch leftist shows are disgruntled individuals like myself, who are only hate watching it to complain about it. But, okay, where am I going with this? Fuck. Maybe someone is going to watch the stream in rewind. Maybe you know, like, you. You're seeing this in rewind, don't you? Tell me in the comment section, because you're not going to tell me in the chat. So, as I was saying, the whole shtick with the House of the Dragon is the fact that the queen has to give birth to a son, right? Like, that's very misogynistic. You guys probably heard about it. It's all over the news. I mean, there's probably more articles written about Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, Episode 1, than there is footage of the actual show. Alright? So apparently, for those of you who don't know, spoilers, the queen is supposed to give birth, and the king demands a son. So that is very misogynistic. Alright, now, I wanna, alright, let me look at a queen. I can make the argument to a leftist, okay? Because like, it's easy to make the argument. To make the argument to a left, I can make the argument to a leftist that it is the duty of the queen to have a son. Like, it is her obligation. Holy shit. They will say that I'm misogynistic, but I am not. Because once I make the argument, you guys are going to be like, oh my god, V is right. And then I will tell you, it's not my argument. It's actually Arch Warhammer's argument. So, let's look at the queen. This is the Queen of France, motherfucker. Right, the Queen of France. You know, back then when they would draw these things, this was like the medieval version of Photoshop. It was like if she had like a big wart over here, or if she had a big ball over here, the painter could just not draw it in. Like, the painter replaced the filter and everything else, right? So, let me show you something else. Here's the peasant hut. Here we go. Okay, now, we're talking about the medieval time period, right? I don't care if it's small. I want you to squint your eyes. Here we go. My God, chat. You are so demanding today. You keep take and take and take from me, chat, but when will you give? I don't complain that you guys are small. I don't ask you to write in caps. But anyway, here we go. So, this is the medieval time. Most people lived in this shit. Alright? As you can notice, doesn't have a lot of insulation from the heat. Not a nice place to live. Most of them lived with their animals. Alright? Life was hard, in case you didn't know. Not for this lady. Life was easy for this lady. Like, the left likes to call this privilege. Why? Because she married the king. Right? So because she married the king, she lives a life that no one else on earth at the time, save for very few people, managed to live. So she's got all these expensive clothings. She manages to have a healthy diet. She lives in this fucking castle. She doesn't have to live in this shit. She doesn't have to worry about the cold. She's got servants. She's got like all of these privileges. So what does she need to do in exchange? Like what, you know, she's getting all of this, but you can't get something for nothing, you know? You need to pay the toll. You need to pay something in return for all of these things, right? Because it's not fair. The left is about equity. What is the equity? What does she need to do? Because, you know, like a lot of people are wasting their labor on her. Like that, she's got a lady cleaning her chamber pot. She's got people that put roses in her chamber pot and all that stuff, right? Like what does she need to do? The answer, give birth to an heir. Because it's a medieval fucking society and it's very important. If she fails to do this, there can be civil war because the king, not having an heir, is going to have pretenders to the throne, which are going to start causing wars. And these people are going to fucking suffer, alright? So, I reject the notion that Game of Thrones Season 1, Episode 1, House of the Dragon is misogynistic. What was asked of the queen is very fucking reasonable, given the fact that she is the queen. Like, she lives in all of these riches. She's got people that are laboring for her. And literally, what she has to do is what your mother and every other woman before her has done, which is provide an heir. Now, if you say that's unfair, I am pretty sure that if you went to the Queen of France and you were to give her the option, it's like, all right, you don't want to provide an heir? That's fine, you can live here. Okay, like you can be like any other peasant woman. You can live in the hut. You can just go and plow the fields, milk the cows, do all of the things, right? But you don't have to provide an heir. Or you get to provide an heir, but you get to live in the castle and you get to be the fucking queen. Which one do you think people would take? Which one would you take if you are in this situation, hypothetically speaking, right? Like you get to live in the middle of the house. Let's say, hypothetically, you don't even have to get married. Like you get all of the perks of a modern woman, right? Like you get to live here, you get to decide who you marry, you get to decide who you fall in love, you get to do whatever you want, but you're not royalty, right? So you don't get free shit. You get to eat what you plow. You get to have money what you sell. You have to pay taxes to the Lord. You have to pay taxes for the church. This lady lives the uncapped dream. She doesn't pay taxes, chat. She doesn't pay fucking taxes. Like literally everything, every privilege that she gets. And she's got one job. I don't see how that's misogynistic. I fucking saw it. I want her job. Like really, and you can say, well, yeah, but like the king doesn't have to do it. Yeah, sure, because the king can't give birth. But the king also has to go to war, chat. If there is a conflict, the king has to go there. The king can risk his life. He can be captured. He can be killed by a trebuchet. Like, the idea that, oh my god, like, well, she's got it hard, I don't agree. I think the king, who has to swing a sword from the day he's born, and on top of that, learn about statesmanship, and learn about all of the other shit that other people don't have to put up with, and then have to listen to the complaints and the whining of the peasants every fucking day, driving him insane. Yeah, I definitely think that, no, like, this is not a misogynistic time period. It is a time period where it's hard for everyone. It is a time period where it's difficult for everyone. But, like, the difficulty comes in different shapes and sizes. So, no, like, all in all, this is the argument that you can tell your fellow left-leaning friend. If they bring up the concept that Game of Thrones is misogynistic, you can tell them it's like, okay, but what should she pay for the privilege that she is getting? Like, she is the queen. I noticed this, like, for some fucking reason. I don't understand why, okay? Like, left-leaning people on Twitter, they are the first to complain about privilege, okay? Why privilege this? Why privilege that? Privilege. But when it's about a fantasy, and you actually have the queen, like in Game of Thrones, all of a sudden they don't talk about privilege. It's almost like, oh, well, she's just, it's normal. Like, she should have all of that shit. It's almost like she worked for it, chat. It's all like she got up in the fucking morning and worked for it. You can like inequality, but that doesn't equal fair. Kings also got raped, kidnapped, tortured, executed. Yes, Vlad the Impaler got fucking raped. That is absolutely correct. Vlad the Impaler, the reason he had a boner for the Ottoman Empire is due to the fact that when he was a young lad, he was given as a ward to the Sultan, and the Sultan had promiscuous activities and boogered him. Okay, like, this is chronicled by historians, by Romanian historians. And due to this, he developed an animosity towards the Ottoman Empire. And this is why Wallachia BTFO'd the Ottoman Empire until Hungary refused to partake. And they arrested him. Right? That's the history of Vlad the Impaler. So yes, like, kings would get boogered as well in medieval time. Not all of them, but some of them. And most of them did get their heads chopped off, especially towards the late period of the medieval time. Yes, Vlad was a victim. Like, Vlad would have been #MeToo with the Sultan. This changes everything. You didn't know? I felt like people knew. Like, it's common knowledge here. I mean, well, I guess if you're in the United States, maybe you didn't know. But, like, there were these Romanian principates, Wallachia, Moldavia, and Transylvania, and they would often rebel against the Ottoman Empire. So the Ottoman Empire, in order to prevent rebellion, would require that the voivod, aka the king, would send his son as a ward so that he would live at the court of the Sultan, and if the voivod, if the king would decide to rebel, then the son would get killed. Right? Like, I mean, that is actually treated in Game of Thrones as well. Like, you have wards in GOT. Like, that's something that you guys probably know. But what you don't know is that in this case, there were two people, Radu the Beautiful, and apparently he enjoyed the boogering, and then there's Vlad the Impaler, who didn't like the boogering, and because of that, he ended up causing mischief towards the Ottoman Empire. And that's why he was a little bit messed in the head, let's say, because his tactics were a little bit more guerrilla-like and very, very terror-like. You know, like, when the sultans went in, when the Yarnichers went into Wallachia and saw a forest of spikes. Like, imagine this, chat. Imagine a forest of people impaled. Probably doesn't look good on cameras. Definitely would got me banned from YouTube. But that's what the Turks saw. Like, when they entered Wallachia. A forest of people impaled. For those of you who don't know what impalement is when they put the pike through your asshole and they pull it out from your mouth. Apparently, allegedly, you don't die from that. Instantly. It takes time. Like, for some reason, it takes time. I assume it's due to the fact that the pike, if done correctly, if the impalement is done correctly, it doesn't cause much blood loss. So you're going to have to wait for a long period of time until you pass away. So I want you to imagine, right? Like, you're the Yarnicher, the Ottoman army, and you're going into this forsaken land, into this Allah forsaken land, and all you see is a forest of people moaning in agony. It's probably not a nice sight, right? Apparently it demoralizes soldiers. I don't know how the fuck his own people were demoralized, but, well, here we are. It takes days in some cases. Yes, it's very inventive. Like, I will say, you know, people who say that medieval society lacked for imagination, I vehemently disagree. Yes, a forest of pikes. He did booger them, yes. I guess his spike was a little bigger than the Sultan's. So, professionally paid. Man, I don't fucking know, like, so, there is this literature which suggests that the reason the Nazis eventually used gas is because the soldiers would get PTSD from murdering civilians, right? So, this is actually something that I noticed in dictatorships. Like, when you have a big riot, when you have a big protest, and the dictator wants to shut down the protest, every now and then it happens that if the protesters hold their ground, if the protesters, like, refuse to run away, and the soldiers start firing into the crowd, eventually the soldiers stop. Right? Like that is something that I was taken aback when I first heard about it, because initially you think, well, like soldier with a gun, he's going to power trip. But no, like, imagine this, right? Like, you have a communist dictator, and he is starving his nation. And the people are desperate, and they go in the streets, right? And they do non-violent protest. So, the soldiers are ordered to open fire. And they're thinking, like, okay, we're going to open fire, and eventually they're going to run away. But sometimes in human history, it has happened that the protesters did not run away. So what ends up happening is that the soldier go like da 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 da, and eventually he notices that people aren't running away, and he stops firing. Like that is something that I was interested. Oh, Mariana Salsa lost her wrench. Well, it's time to give it back. So I was a little bit, yeah, like soldiers are people too. Exactly, right? I guess this happens if it's the same country, right? Like if it's like a civil thing, if it's an invasion force, not so much. But yes, like soldiers are people too. So I'm thinking like this: imagine being in medieval time and you have to do this thing, right? Like Vlad the Impaler tells you need to impale these people, and I'm thinking like, how many people can you fucking impale before you lose your fucking mind? Like how many of them do you get to impale before you're like, I don't like this thing. I would rather not. Can you imagine? You know what? I'll invite Spooky. Fuck it. I'll invite Spooky. I'll ask Spooky. Let's see if Spooky is available. Hold on. Just give me a second. If I see Spooky on the chat, I'm going to bring him up. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear him, and hopefully he's available, because I haven't asked him. Normally you're supposed to ask people whether or not you should invite them. Spooky, are you here? Fuck, he's not here. He doesn't have his mic. Or maybe I don't have my sound fixed. Let me check a little bit, because Discord uses a different thing. Okay, microphone. There we go. Output device. Speakers, gaming speakers. Spooky.
Hi, V.
Oh my fucking god, he's here. All right, chat, we got Spooky. Now, let me see if I have his... Say something again.
Something again?
All right, the chat can't hear you. Give me a second. I'm fixing the sound, chat. This is complicated shit. All right, speakers, gaming speakers. Now the chat should hear you. Chat, let me know.
Something again?
All right. So, my god, I don't have your avatar. Do you know that I had Christian people, Spooky, who watched your avatar, your PNG, and they said Jesus fucking Christ, and they unsubscribed from my channel? How the fuck do you feel about that?
All I'm saying is the Pope wore long socks up through the 1800s until the early 1900s. So I feel like maybe they're just not that Christian. They don't know the history.
All right, I see. So we were talking about impalement, right? Now, impalement means I think you heard what it means, right?
Oh, I know a thing or two about impalement.
Right. So, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, like, why do you have to play it to the stereotype? Anyway, right. I was told that people would get professional at it. Like, after you impale your 10th person, do you think, like, they would gain experience? Like, do you think there was a person back in medieval time who was like, man, I can impale someone in 2 minutes, and the other person's like, no, I can do it in 1 minute, and I can do it fucking properly?
Listen, all I'm saying is I know for a fact that from the historical record, Romans used to compete to be better at crucifying criminals than each other, the lawmen. So I imagine impalers probably had the same kind of culture. They just didn't write it down as much.
I don't find that to be unlikely. I mean, whenever you get a job, like whatever it is, like you're flipping burgers at McDonald's, right? There was always the competition. It's like, I flip burgers better, I flip burgers faster, right? So if you have the job of crucifying people during the Roman Empire, I do assume that the crucifixors would, like pride themselves in their craft. Like they would be like, well, I do it the cleanest, or I do it the fastest, or I do it the painless, or maybe like they scream louder
most painful.
When I do it.
They're Roman. It'd be most painful.
I don't know, but like I'm thinking about it, right? Like, by the way, apparently crucifixion wasn't done with nails, because the purpose was to allow the guilty party to suffer as much as possible on the cross.
It was mostly considered a waste of metal to use nails. Ropes were used because you could reuse them.
Yeah. Well, another thing that I noticed is like in medieval time, you have all these movies where, you got a prisoner and the other guy goes like, oh, I'm going to cut you loose, and they cut the rope. Apparently they didn't do that because rope was fucking expensive. Like, if anything, you'd want to untie the rope and then steal the rope because you can sell it later.
In most of the time, people would tie knots that were designed to be easy to untie, but in the off chance that they didn't, you just cut it right next to the knot, so you raised as little rope as possible.
Yeah, like you'd want to steal that shit because it's valuable. Like, you don't have the Industrial Revolution to create rope automatically. Like, you need to like do it by hand, and it was a very intensive process. And this is why rope was actually very fucking expensive.
Fun fact, early America, one of the products that Americans were so good at making, one of the things that brought wealth to the Americas early on, rope.
Yeah.
We grew hemp.
All right.
And they smoked it too.
We're going to be talking about Twitter today. Apparently there is a... and by the way, let me know about the sound with Spooky, because someone is saying that he's too loud, like if I need to tinker with the sound. But...
I have a giant mouth.
Hold on, let me give you the article as well. You got a mouth? Why do you do this, Spooky? You're a Catholic man, allegedly. why
you're the one taking it weird.
I'm not taking it weird. Like, you keep making these innuendos, these references, and at one point you gotta take a step back and say, is he trying to say something? Okay, Spooky.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right, Spooky is very loud.
I only do this to mess with you, V.
Short Final Taco told me that like you're LARPing like a Catholic, but like you're sucking the ectoplasm right out of someone's cock if you get to the bottles of beer. So.
Oh, but this is Dev we're talking about. Devin is a special boy.
Devin is someone else. Devin is the kangaroo. I don't think you know him. But anyway, right. So, why is it? Here we go. I think I managed to lower your voice a little bit now. Okay. So, former security chief claims the Twitter buried egregious differences. So, we now get a whistleblower, something that you probably like, from Twitter, which is very interesting because we got a Facebook whistleblower, which was a lady, and everyone believed her, and everyone was saying that, oh my fucking god, like she's the gospel, and even though like all she had was hearsay, everyone was like, oh yeah, no, absolutely, and even Facebook liked her. Like, that is probably the first whistleblower in the history of mankind where you get, people are saying I'm too low, yeah, but like the first whistleblower in the history of mankind, where you get the company agreeing with the whistleblower and being nice with the whistle. Like, I found that to be a little bit peculiar, you know?
I mean, it depends on what side of the message you're on, of course, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like, imagine I'm on your server, right? And there's some weird shenanigans happening on your server. And I blow the whistle, and I'm like, look, Spooky is having the dog pill on his server, right? And then you're like, oh yeah, that's absolutely true. You know, V, thank you for telling the public this. Yeah, no, we agree that we do this. You know, like, it's so fucking bizarre, isn't it?
I'm gonna be real with you. It gets way worse than that on my Discord server, but let's leave that aside for now. You think I'm bad? They're worse. No. Realistically, in this case, what I find fascinating is mostly the social position of the two whistleblowers, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
They're treated very differently based on what side of the message they're on and based on their gender. Go figure.
No, I don't think it's the gender. I generally don't think so. I think it's because she came out and she literally confirmed every single Democrat talking point. Like, if the Democrats would have hired a person to do it, they could have done a better job. Like, literally, oh my god, like, social media is filled with extremists. And we need the government to step in. And the government is the only one that can regulate. Because otherwise, it is the death of our democracy. Ooh. And the Democrats were like, oh yes, absolutely. Here.
I just want to point out that just because they don't say they were hired by the Democrats doesn't mean they weren't. Sometimes they just do that secretly.
Apparently, like, she had connections to secret intelligence services, is what I've been told.
I'm not surprised.
So let's see what the Twitter guy says. Twitter executives deceived federal regulators and the company's own board of directors about extreme erroneous deficiencies in its defense against hackers, as well as its meager efforts to fight spam, according to an explosive whistleblower complaint from its former security chief. Do you know what people are saying about this whistleblower?
Did you just say erogenous?
Erogenous. Egregious. Egregious.
Erogenous is a whole different thing.
I understand.
Now it's you who's doing innuendos.
Yes. Egregious. Look, me no speak English, okay? Right.
I completely missed half of that point because I was laughing about that.
Oh, it's
No, I mean hiding it from the board of directors is already a federal offense.
it is, isn't
It's
it? Right.
the FTC can literally put you in prison for that or fine you many hundreds of millions of dollars. That
It's
is
not cool.
entirely possible.
Yeah, it's very progressive though, but not cool. So,
Mm.
do you know what people are saying about this? Like how they debunked it?
Oh no, how did they debunk it?
Um, he is a disgruntled ex-employee.
Well, I mean, most whistleblowers are disgruntled ex-employees. It doesn't mean he's wrong.
You're like, who blows the whistle? Like, who's going to fucking blow the whistle? Of course,
You're not gonna blow the whistle if you're happy about what's going
yeah,
on.
like, obviously. Jesus Christ.
It's absolutely fun. Wait, this was Mudge? I know Mudge. We've spoken before, I think.
You spoke with Mudge?
I think I've spoken to Mudge in the past.
Holy shit, now you're going to get my channel canceled.
No, it's because
Anyway, right, whatever. So,
I can't spill that inside tea anyway.
Javier, did
He's
I
worked
watch
with
the new...
DARPA.
Javier, did I watch the new Top Gun? No. The complaint from former head of security, Peter Zatko, a widely admired hacker known as Mudge. I love how they keep power word real name people. Right? Why the fuck do you real name him? It's like it's official court documents. I guess it's like if they're going to sue and they want to use the article, you know, it's like, oh, it says in the article that it's Peter Zatko.
There's actually a funny story about this. This is a particular American thing. The reason that like nicknames like Mudge have to be included in articles dates back to the mafia.
Really?
Because they all had nicknames. So if you wanted to
so
sue them
fucking
properly or report on
Holy
it,
shit, you're a box of insight, man. Jesus. That is true. I didn't know that.
So much stupid shit.
Huh?
Yeah, I like you'd have guys like Six Gun Tony and all this other shit like that, and they always had like these crazy nicknames, these crazy mafia nicknames, and you had to report on them with the nicknames because otherwise, back pre-internet days, the court had to go on something.
Yeah. That makes sense. Man, Bugsy. I love the fact that they were always disgruntled. Do you think like the Six Gun Tony was a disgruntled ex-employee as well?
I mean, as a general rule, I try to stay gruntled, but it seems like most people end up disgruntled at some point.
No, but like think about it, right? Like you got this guy from the mafia coming out there going like, oh, the Don is stealing money from all the shop owners, is shaking down the business on the street, and the media is like, oh well, Six Gun Tony is just a disgruntled ex-employee of the Don.
I mean, once you get replaced by Seven Gun Tony, what are you gonna do from there? Your career's over.
It's probably Babyface Lou. So the complaint from former head of security, Peter Zatko, complains about power word real name Mudge, power word fake name actually, depicts Twitter as a chaotic, rudderless company beset by infighting, unable to properly protect its 238 million daily users, including government agencies, heads of state. Since when is the job of Twitter to protect shit?
Well, the funnier thing is rumors from inside Twitter from people I've spoken to.
Oh, you've spoken to people.
Are
Are you from DARPA? You're from fucking DARPA, aren't you, Spooky? Like you're a Spooky.
I can neither confirm nor deny having ever worked with the federal government. I can say I have never worked for DARPA. But what's important though is people I know inside Twitter, they basically report that the people who built Twitter and actually know how most of it works are mostly gone.
It's what I hear about YouTube as well. It's kind of like so what I hear about YouTube, like one of the reasons they don't innovate anymore and why they drop Google Hangouts, I don't know if it's true or not. Like hearsay, take it with a grain of salt. I'm doom cooking right now. It's due to the fact that most of the people that build the platform left, and it's very difficult to understand the algorithm. So like if they make small changes, they fuck other things, and this is why they like to keep it stable.
These kinds of complicated, interconnected systems are a software development nightmare from the start, especially if you don't plan them well in advance. So I'm not surprised. You lose the tribal knowledge, and the new people just don't know how it works. It might as well be monkeys banging on it with wrenches.
Spooky. Are you a glowy?
I do not glow in the dark, but also if you tried to hit me with a car, it wouldn't work. I'm already dead.
Naruhodo. Among the most serious accusations in the complaint, a copy of which was obtained by the Washington Post, is that Twitter violated the terms of an 11-year-old settlement with the Federal Trade Commission by falsely claiming that it had solid security plan. Zatko's complaint alleged that he had warned colleagues that half the company's servers were running out of date and vulnerable software, and that executives withheld dire facts about the number of breaches and lack of protecting for user data instead of presenting directors with rosy charts. You are telling me, I refuse to believe it. You are telling me that when Twitter asked me for my phone number for fucking security, they're actually lying. Like they cannot provide the security that they promise? No.
So couple funny things about this bit. Yes, obviously, but also that 11-year-old settlement was for exactly that thing you just said. Apparently, they were supposed to have fixed this over 10 years ago, and they just never did. They just started lying about it better.
So why do they want my phone number, Spooky? Like every time I log on, it's like, insert your phone number. Two-step authentication, they call it.
Can I have your phone number, V?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, do I get to authenticate with you? Like, why? What features do I get?
I'm always authentic.
Like, what features do I get if I log fucking into Spooky? Like, what do I get?
All I'm saying is I will send you funny cat pictures on the regular. It's just kind of standard practice for me.
But you need my phone number to do it. So Samurai Flax says
definitely.
He is a longtime fan of both of us. Keep the great work. Spooky, will you stream with Tomoe or Koa?
I will say that I don't really know Koa very well. I think we've only spoken once in passing. I do speak with Tomoe pretty often, but no specific plans. Have to wait for an announcement.
I can make it happen with Koa.
Well, I'm happy to hang out with the squad more. I've been hanging out with some of those some of that circle a little bit recently. It's been quite nice.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the article. The complaint filed last month with the Security and Exchange Commission. Oh, hold on, I read this one. Jesus fuck. Oh no, I didn't read it. The complaint filed last month with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Department of Justice, as well as the VTC, says that thousands of employees still have wide-ranging and poorly tracked internal access to core company software. A situation that for years had led to embarrassing hacks, including the commandeering of accounts held by such high-profile users such as Elon Musk.
So the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, is basically the regulator for financial and securities markets. They do stocks, bonds, all that stuff. If they're getting involved, they're probably looking at a multi-$100 million fine, bare minimum, if not jail time for many of these executives.
Do you think it's because Elon Musk might buy it, so then he has to pay the fine?
No, probably not. Realistically, once the SEC is involved, there's a very good chance he will just bring that up in the court case, and that will be reason enough for him to say, hey, I'm not buying this company. I didn't know it was criminal before I offered. I mean, it's a real possibility.
Zlixion says Twitter has become the new public square and clearly influences politics and elections. It must either be forced to abide by First Amendment principles or be seized by the government. Yeah, but like, why would the government? Like, this is what I don't get Americans, right? Like, you have the Democrats in power, and Twitter benefits them. Why the fuck would the Democrats change the system, which is already working as intended?
Yeah, I mean, nobody undermines the First Amendment more than the government.
I mean, like, right? Like, what? Now, you do have, like, a point, because, like, I remember when Trump was blocking journalists, because, like, you'd have journalists which made a lucrative career in insulting the U.S. president. It's like, Trump would be like, oh, good morning, America, and the journalist would be like, oh, go fuck yourself. And then, like, the journalist would get, like, 1,000 likes, right? So he would be like, oh, look how much clout I have. Don't you want to hire me, Washington Compost? Like, oh, MSLSD, look at the clout. Look how much, right? So they would hire them, and that was like a cottage industry. Now, Trump came up, noticed what's happening, and started fucking with them by blocking them, right? So they sued the U.S. president. It goes all the way to the Supreme Court, and I'm like, no fucking way are they going. Oh no, they got no First Amendment. Like, the U.S. president is unable to block people on Twitter because it's the public square. And I'm thinking, holy fucking shit. Like, you can make the argument, if they did that if I get banned by Twitter, then I don't get to talk with my president, and therefore they're infringing on my First Amendment.
Well, it's funny because the Constitution only ever seems to, come into play in our legal system here in America nowadays when when it's being twisted to add rights to some special interest group or
Mm-hmm.
to, force through some kind of unconstitutional policy. It's all wordplay.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
In,
Um,
a, in addition, the whistleblower documents alleges the company prioritized user growth over reducing spam. Oh, no fucking way. No, they prioritized user. The unwanted content made the user experience worse. Executives stood to win individual bonuses of as much as $10 million tied to increase in daily users. The complaint asserts, and nothing explicitly for cutting spam. Yeah, because, like, look, the spam. Like, I know YouTubers, by the way. Like, this is behind the scene type of shit. Not gonna give names. I know YouTubers. So, you know, like those bots that post in the comment section? It's like, oh, click here. I'm a nice, buxom lady, and I got big titties, and you need to click the link to see me. You know that? Like, you seen it when you go on YouTube?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Okay, I'm telling you, it's there, right? Like you got these
No,
spams.
I've seen them.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. Like if you upload on a random channel with 0 subs, like the bots will post it. I know YouTubers refuse to delete those because they generate traffic.
I kind of find it hard to blame them because if you start deleting them, you're reducing your footprint.
Yes.
And the people who don't will have an advantage.
I
over you to some
delete them when I
extent,
see them because I don't want my chat to fucking click on them and then get some Trojan horse or whatever the fuck there's in there. You know, like I don't know why those bots appear, but like I pretty much assume that they're not doing good business. They must be malicious, right?
Oh,
So
they're almost certainly malicious, but think of it this way: it's an idiot filter. You don't want stupid people in your audience anyway.
No, I want an audience, period. Okay? Like, if you're
Oh,
an idiot, you're welcome here. I don't mind. Just shut the fuck
V
up.
loves you no matter how you
I'll
are.
educate you. I'll make you smart. Just come here. Bring your friends. There's a guy that has a left-leaning wife. Bring her. I'm not saying she's an idiot, by the way. But what I'm saying is that if you have a left-leaning wife, do bring her in my chat. It is owned by the government.
Oof.
It must abide by the First Amendment, says Zlixian. I don't think Twitter is owned by the government, man. There was money invested by the government in Twitter. But I don't think it's owned by the government. If not, then hello, Supreme Court. It could also be liquidated instead. Yeah, I don't think so. Do you know that Twitter has anti-riot glass at its HQ?
Is it to stop people from breaking the windows from the outside or the inside? Because it could go either way at this point.
I don't fucking know. But like, I was like, what do you mean like Twitter is riot-proof? But like, why would people want... Right? So they probably know that they are pissing off so many people that they took the precautions. Like, the moment I found out about it is when Laura Loomer decided to chain herself to Twitter HQ, right? And they said, well, it's her right to protest. Which is kind of funny because, like, apparently no one even uses Twitter HQ, right? But they do have, like, riot protection. And I'm like, it's a certain, like, who, what? Nani? Nani?
Okay, couple things. First of all, riot-proof glass is not really riot-proof. It's riot-resistant glass. They just
Like,
call it
why would you
riot-proof
get
for
it?
marketing.
Why
So
would-
don't rely on it if you're worried about a riot.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
And
I get it. But, like, why?
why? It's because nobody likes Twitter. Even people who like Twitter still hate the people who run Twitter.
Well, like, who takes time off to go to the fucking HQ and freak out at it? You know, like, whatever. Chief Executive Parag.
The kind of people who riot don't have jobs, V. Come on.
I see. Chief Executive Parag Argawal was lying when he tweeted in May that the company was strongly incentivized to detect and remove as much spam as possible. Yeah, I mean, dude, why would... I never believed that. I mean, it's so horseshit because the spam drives traffic and it makes it seem like you have more people, right? And secondly, no one cares about the spam. Like, people use Twitter despite the spam. Like, it's not like it's so bad that people are shooting off the platform. It's like, oh, so much spam on Twitter. I can't. I just can't. No, like, no one does that, right? So, why would they remove it? Makes no fucking sense.
Honestly, Twitter's own promoted feed is pretty much spam anyway. So if you're already on Twitter, you're probably fine with spam.
In an interview with the Post, Zatko described his decision to go public as an extension of his previous work, exposing flaws in a specific piece of software and broader systemic failings in cybersecurity. He was hired at Twitter by former CEO Jack Dorsey after a major hack of the company system. So let me get this straight. This guy is a whistleblower from another company, and another company hires him, and then he whistleblows the second company.
Well, Zatko, his whole thing is Mudge is that he's always been like like a big advocate of good security, right?
I think
He
he
was
has
always like the
autism.
good guy hacker.
Yeah. I think he has autism.
Well, probably, but if you hire a guy like that and then you have this kind of bullshit going on in your company, he's gonna tell people. It's what he's been doing for like what 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
You can't be surprised.
Hello, Jack. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, right? Like, if imagine, you have like the most honest person imaginable, right? Like he never lies ever, and one day, he tells on his boss that he's skipping employees or whatever, right? Like he takes down his own business because he just doesn't want to lie. And then you hire him, and you're the Don, and you're hiring him in your mafia organization. Like, like why would you do that?
You know why you would do that? Hubris, pure arrogance. The people running Twitter, as scummy as they are, as underhanded as they act, you're the good guys, so everything we do is justified, so nobody will ever complain.
Yes.
That's exactly why this happened.
I felt ethically bound, says the guy who already whistleblowed at another company. This is not a light step to take. Apparently, he got fired by Argowal. He declined to discuss what happened at Twitter, except to stand by the former complaint. Under SEC whistleblower rules, he is entitled to legal protection against retaliation, as well as potentially monetary rewards.
That's an important point. The monetary rewards there. If you're a whistleblower and something that engages with the securities and exchange markets, basically any big corporation, and they issue a fine, you can get up to 10%. So that $100 million fine might pad his pockets pretty damn well.
Yeah.
10%.
10%. 10%.
Yeah, out of 100 million is 10 million.
So all of a sudden...
There's a reason whistleblowers come forward, is all I'm saying.
What you're saying is that it may not have been his guilty conscience that decided for him to speak out and blow the whistle.
What I am saying is the SEC is basically a legalized mafia, and they run like one. It's like, hey, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. You either go to jail or you make $10 million. Whose side are you on?
So apparently, it's called silver or lead, right? Like you're on the silver?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. A redacted version of the 84-page filing went to congressional committees. Ooh. The Post obtained a copy of the disclosure from a senior Democratic aide on Capitol Hill. Zatko is represented by the nonprofit law firm Whistleblower Aid. The FTC is reviewing the allegations, according to two people familiar with the preliminary inquiry. The Post interviewed more than a dozen current and former employees for this story, many of whom spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss the sensitive information. Security and privacy have long been company-wide priorities at Twitter. How many times did Twitter get fucking hacked? Which one is it, malice or incompetence?
It's probably incompetence, to be honest.
Why not both? Why are they being so generous?
The problem is for it to count as malice, they have to not be, swinging at their own reflection. It's like watching a parakeet get angry at their own reflection and get territorial. That's what Twitter's malice is.
Look, all I'm saying is when the U.S. president gets hacked, maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't say that security is your top priority.
It should be, but I don't think that they're competent enough to understand what good security looks like. I really don't think so.
She said that Zatko's allegations appear to be riddled with inaccuracies. Like, man, I don't know about his allegations, but what I do know is that the U.S. president did get hacked. And that Zatko now appears to be opportunistically seeking to inflict harm on Twitter. Oh, no. Its customers and its shareholders. Oh, sounds like PR control to me. Like, what the...
Wait. Is this person really trying to pull this, poor little multinational corporation?
Wait, she is working for the poor little multinational corporation.
I'm being bullied by the whistleblower.
She's literally the spokesperson for Twitter, right? Like, she's the spokeswoman, Rebecca Hahn, and she is like, oh no, this person is bullying us. This is like an evil whistleblower which wants to inflict harm on Twitter and its customers. Fuck me.
The best part I find about that is she's literally stealing Trump talking points. They're not after me, they're after you, innocent end users. I'm just in the way.
Little Rebecca Hadia's like, they're not after me.
The evil hacker known as Mudge.
Han added that Twitter has tightened up security extensively since 2020, that its security practices are within the industry standards. And it has specific rules about who can access company systems. And somehow the US president still got fucking hacked.
Well, the problem is tightened up extensively. Yes, maybe technically true, but if you have no security and you add a little bit of security, that's basically an infinity % increase in security. So, not exactly a stellar statement, is it?
Well, no, like if you have no security and you add a little bit of security, you just added 100% security.
It's infinity % technically, mathematically. Yeah.
Regarding the allegations about spam and bots, has said to Twitter removes more than 1 million spam accounts every day. Well, you probably have 1 billion of them, don't you?
I mean, 300 million per year, 1 million per day gone.
That's not a lot.
Like 250 million spam accounts per year.
Yeah. That's not a lot. I mean, like if you have like a bot and it does the spam, it can generate, like one bot can probably generate hundreds of thousands of spam, and that's one bot. And then you add like hundreds of thousands of bots, and you realize that 1 million spam accounts every day is not that much.
Well, no, they remove 1 million spam accounts per day. It says they add up to 300 million per year. So that's 250 million per year.
Hold on, you're right. I didn't do the math. Right. So no. They say they more than 1 million. So like one day maybe they remove 1 million, and the other day they remove 100 million.
I'm just saying.
Look, you need to fact check. Right? The book spooky. Like,
look,
if they are saying
is,
they framed it in a way that every day they remove at least 1 million spam. I mean, no day goes by without 1 billion being removed, and at the end of the year they get around 300 billion.
I'm just saying, even if we were generous and we said 250 million, that's still 4.8 million new spam accounts that are sticking around every week.
Holy shit, you're right. I can't refute that.
That's a lot of spam.
Hans said that Twitter fully stands by its SEC findings and approach fighting spam. A person familiar with Zatko tenure said that the company investigated Zatko's security claims during his time there and concluded that they were sensationalistic and without merit. Oh my god, Twitter investigated itself and found out? Did no wrong. 4 people familiar with Twitter's efforts to fight spam said that the company deploys extensive manual and automated tools to both measure the extent of spam across the service. Well, they're going to have to show it during the trial with Elon Musk anyway, so...
Well, here's 2 things that stick out to me. Once again, when you see the SEC involved, that's when interesting things start happening. They specifically make a statement that they stand by their SEC filings, because if they don't, somebody goes to jail. Second, the SEC refusing to comment tells you a lot, actually, because the SEC doesn't really mind commenting. Like a lot of government agencies will.
They're in the middle of an investigation, basically. That's what's happening. Like they're actively investigating. Yeah.
They're actively investigating, and it's a real investigation that, again, big fines or jail time is happening. Somebody is going to get it.
The complaint has potential implications for Twitter legal battle with Musk, who is trying to get out of a $44 billion contract to buy the social media platform. The deal includes a pledge by Twitter that its shareholders' filings are accurate, but Musk says no. A violation that should allow him to walk away without penalty. Here's what I think, right? Like, Musk can still buy Twitter. Like, this is what people don't understand. Like, he is being sued, and they're trying to force him to buy it. Like, if he loses the lawsuit, because like everyone that's like on the everyone like Thunderfoot, which is on the fuck Musk train, what they don't understand is that either Elon Musk loses the lawsuit and he ends up buying Twitter, or he wins the lawsuit and then he was right. There was spam and there was bots and they were overpricing it. So he wins the moral argument, right? Like, there is no way, unless he settles. I think this is what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to get Twitter to settle out of the $44 billion deal and buy it for less.
He's going to get it for half price. But more importantly, I don't know who Thunderfoot is, but I'm just going to point out that I'd probably fuck Elon Musk too. Have you seen how much money he's worth? Goddamn.
Oh, I would fuck Elon Musk as well. I mean, look, the laws in the United States allow for gay marriage. Like, I would first divorce my wife, and I would actually tell her, just like, look, I'm divorcing you. I'm marrying Elon Musk. No, let me finish. I'm marrying Elon Musk.
You could be the first. You could be the first concubine on Mars.
No. Listen.
King's
okay?
concubine.
It's not about the concubine. No, it's not about Mars. I don't care about Mars. What I am saying is that I would marry Elon Musk and then divorce him and get half his shit. And then I am probably like, what, the 4th, 5th richest person on Earth, right? I mean, and then I marry my wife again. That's all it takes. Like, it's pure cynical pure financial oriented. I don't know if the Catholics approve of this, but I would pray for forgiveness. You know, I'd clench the Bible in my hand and I'd be like, Jesus, please forgive me. I have sinned. You know?
If the sensationalist papers are to be believed, man,
Yeah.
after you finish having to clench Elon Musk, you're gonna have trouble clenching the Bible with anything.
Hmm. Is it like
I'm just saying the man doesn't have like 15 kids for no reason.
so he's like an African American for real, like the stereotype fits.
Oh, that's the rumor. I've never confirmed this myself. This is gonna be really weird if I ever end up working in the same industry as him. Now that I've realized, because this is gonna come back at some point, and we're gonna have a conversation about this.
So on Tuesday, after the
Oh my
publication
God.
of the article, Musk tweeted an apparent reference to the whistleblower, sharing a meme of Jimmy the Cricket from Disney's Pinocchio with the words, give a little whistle. Overall, Zatko wrote in a February analysis for the company attached an exhibit to the SEC complaint, Twitter is grossly negligent in several areas of information security. If these problems are not corrected, regulators, media, and users of the platforms will be shocked when they inevitably learn about Twitter's severe lack of security basics. I'm using this platform, Spooky. I'm using it.
I use Twitter the same way I would use a public restroom. I try my best not to touch anything. But more importantly, I find it fascinating that they're putting as much effort into Musk's shitposts on this article as SEC filings and the actual whistleblower.
Yeah. Well,
How
I guess,
powerful is this man?
I guess. Well, this is the Bezos post, right? I think Elon Musk said something disparaging at Bezos' wife at one point, or some controversy regarding.
Oh, it's way better than that. He said Bezos' rocket looks like an uncircumcised wiener, and Bezos has never recovered from that. Because now, once you say that, like, now you can't unsee it.
Do you think Bezos went into his post and told people, Elon Musk burned me, and I want you now in every single fucking article to roast him? Like, do you think he hired professional Elon Musk roasters? And it's like, when you write an article for the post, you gotta get it past your editor, and then you gotta get it past like the Elon Musk roaster, and he injects something in it.
100% yes. Bezos is famously petty even among petty rich people.
Really? Like, is that a thing?
Bezos is famously petty even among petty rich people. He 100% hired somebody just because they had enough fuck Elon Musk posts on their Twitter account.
Get the fuck out. I don't believe
that. That has happened. I guarantee it.
I don't believe it.
I can't prove it.
I know you can't prove it, but like, hypothetically speaking, that is so fucking petty. I refuse to believe someone can be that fucking petty.
No, I mean, if you have that much money, like, at that... We're talking about a man who tried to disassemble a historical bridge because his yacht wasn't as the biggest one in the world. Remember?
Oh, no, I don't believe that. Bezos is against global warming. He would never. Like, you would never build a yacht. That's wasteful capitalism. Like, no.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. So Bezos, you can send your shilling checks to Mr. V. He's in Romania. We'll get you the address. No.
Oh my God, I would shield for Bezos. Man, I would shield for Bezos like you wouldn't fucking believe, Spooky. I would do it in a fucking heartbeat. I have no remorse.
All I'm saying is in my very first debut stream, the first thing I said is I will sell out immediately. So Jeff Bezos, if you got $1 billion for me, I will lick your shiny bald head.
Look, Bezos, we come in a package. 2 for the price of 1. Just contact us, call us, baby. You know, like, what do you want to say about like Elon Musk bad? Oh, I'll jump on that fucking bandwagon, but not for free, Bezos. They give you money.
I'm just saying, I could get like my VTuber avatar. I could get like a Jeff Bezos t-shirt, get like his head right on the middle.
Jesus. Selling Jeff Bezos merch. This month, an ex-Twitter employee was convicted of using his position at the company to spy on Saudi dissidents and got, oh my fucking God, now this is so progressive, chat. This is so fucking progressive. So a Twitter employee used his position at the company to spy on Saudi dissidents. What was it against like women that wanted more women rights in Saudi Arabia? Because now that would be very progressive. That would be so fun. You know, that would be something that the Democrats could get behind.
Have you seen Salman's Steam page? I'm sorry, this is a bit of a tangent, but
no.
He has an extremely weeaboo Steam page. I'm gonna have to find it. Here it is.
All right.
No, this is worth showing the stream.
All right, let me see.
This is, as far as we know, this is actually his real Steam page. Show this to the chat.
All right.
Incidentally, I sent him a friend request and he did not accept. I'm a little sad about
who is
that.
this? Like,
then again,
who is this person? Is this the whistleblower?
The Crown Prince. No, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia.
Get the
Mohammed
fuck
bin
out!
Salman,
No
the one
fucking
who
way, dude. Get the fuck
Yeah,
out!
fucking way.
No fucking
Yeah,
way.
fucking way. It's really him. He's
Dude,
a big Dota 2 player.
That is no way. And he didn't add you to friends list.
No, he didn't. I'm so disappointed.
Oh my god. All right, chat. Like, you're not going to believe this, chat. I don't know even why I'm showing you, because it's like... All right.
I'm just saying, he gets professionally commissioned art set up in his Steam showcase. He's literally paying somebody to pimp his Steam page out and make it look like extra flashy.
So, again, tell the chat who this is.
Yeah, this is Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's Steam page, allegedly. But he's never refuted it publicly, and he's known to be a bit of a gamer, so I wouldn't be surprised.
The fuck out.
Allegedly, it's one of the most it's probably the most expensive Steam account on the platform.
Is this like Catherine from that transgender game?
Dude, I don't know. He's an ultra weeb. And yes, Osama bin Laden did in fact have a library full of PS2 and classics. He was a bit of a gamer as well.
Are you trying to give gaming a bad name? It's like, oh, gamer has a white male terrorist problem, and they're like, well, let's add some diversity to that. Let's add some inclusion.
Okay, I need to point out to you in the chat, you might be saying that's not halal. That's true, but to be fair, this is also the guy who, you know, he's still a Saudi. He still kills journalists, so I'm not saying I approve of him. But he did also start allowing movie theaters, and he was the one saying maybe women should be allowed to drive. So 1 for 1 isn't that bad. Movie theaters good, women driving dangerous. It pretty much just works.
You know, like, I love the fact like people go like, oh, what, that's not halal. Like, you never seen a Christian who doesn't act in a Christian manner. Like Spooky here, for example.
Listen, all I'm saying is anytime somebody tells me a Protestant, I make a joke about burning them at the stake.
This month, an ex-Twitter employee was convicted, apparently, of giving the information for Saudi dissidents to the guy whose Steam Twitter profile you've seen. Zatko's complaint says he believed that the Indian government had forced Twitter to put one of its agents on the payroll. With access to user data, a time of intense protest in the country, the complaint said supporting information for that claim has gone to National Security Division of the Justice Department, blah, 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 blah.
I find it hilarious that of all the agencies and branches of government we have, all of the diplomatic corps, you know, 3-letter agencies, major energy firms, major oil firms, the most infiltrated companies in the United States, Twitter and Facebook. That's what everybody's trying to get a hold of. What? I don't...
Do you want me to tell you something funny?
We live in clown world.
No.
Everything's funny now.
The shortest joke in the world. 2 words joke. Do you think I can make a joke with just 2 words?
I will believe you because I know you're a clever man.
Look at this. Senate intelligence.
Jesus Christ, me. Oh my God. I wasn't prepared. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Senate Intelligence Committee spokeswoman. Do they have spokesman at all? Like, this is the 3rd spokeswoman. Okay. Rachel Cohen, not a lot of diversity in the spokespeople committee, said that the committee is trying to set up a meeting with Zatko to discuss the complaint in detail. Take a tech platform that collects massive amount of user data, combine it with what appears to be an incredibly weak security infrastructure, and infuse it with foreign state actors with an agenda, and you've got a recipe for disaster. What the fuck is this? The trailer for a fucking movie? Holy shit!
I mean, it's a little dramatic, but he's not wrong.
No, it's not wrong. But like, take a tech platform that collects massive amounts of user data. You need to do like the sound effects.
My question with the article though is why didn't they tell about the part where he put on sunglasses and walked in slow motion away from the explosion?
No, but this is like you know like that guy with the trailer voice. It's like
Boom 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 boom.
this summer.
Yep. Boom 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 boom.
Take a tech platform.
Boom 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 boom.
Collect massive amount of user data.
Boom 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 boom.
Combine it with what appears to be an incredibly weak security infrastructure.
Boom 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 boom.
And infuse it with foreign state actors with an agenda. And you've got a recipe for disaster.
This summer.
Charles E. Gracely.
Charles E. Grassley, starring as
the top
Republican. Actually, just leave it there. The top Republican. That can be the title.
Oh my god. The claims I've received from a Twitter whistleblower raises serious national security concerns as well as privacy issues, and they must be investigated further.
Investigated further. That's an interesting turn of phrase.
Notice how it's just like Republicans that give a shit about this.
Well, once again, Democrats they will literally prioritize anyone over an American in any situation. We're talking about,
so like,
actors. We like them.
Like the moment, like the moment that anchor baby happens, and they get citizenship, the moment the Democrats stops caring about them.
I mean, unironically, the Democrats have actual policy positions that are too complicated to get into right now, but that actually disadvantage those children of immigrants. So yeah, literally yes.
Okay. I got a question. Right. Let's say I get my wife pregnant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I fly over to the United States on a tourist trip.
Mm-hmm.
And she gives birth in America.
Mm-hmm.
Does the baby have U.S. citizenship?
Unfortunately, yes.
How the fuck does that work? No other fucking country in the world works like that. Why the fuck? Like that makes no sense. So like, father Romanian, mother Romanian, babies from the U.S. Like I would think that my wife cheated at that point. Like how the fuck does that happen?
V, I can do you one better.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the name on this article is not to be confused with me. It's spelled with a Y, different person. But just saying.
Okay.
This is a real article. This really did happen. It had multiple sources. This is one to show to the chat as well.
Right.
So speaking of birthright citizenship, the actual ruling of the policy is you have to be born on United States soil. So,
if I go to an embassy.
Legally, embassy staff's kids, as long as they're in the embassy, they are considered to be born on U.S. soil.
Yeah.
That includes, actually, even if they were technically not born in the embassy, weirdly enough. It's like a special exception.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, like, if you're a diplomat in some other country... But like, hold on. That's kind of fucking weird, because... It should be like if the parents are both U.S. citizens, it doesn't fucking matter where you birth your baby. Like, it should still be a U.S. citizen, right? Like, if mama is from the U.S. and papa is from the U.S., or even, like, if mama is from the U.S. and the parent is from Mexico, and they have the baby in Mexico, like, the baby should still have dual citizenship.
There's a weird quirk because there's technically two different processes by which you can become a United States citizen. Mm-hmm. One of them is a naturalized citizen, which means if you have a United States parent, you become that no matter where you would land.
Yeah.
But if you're not a naturalized citizen, you have to be born on U.S. soil. Mm-hmm. And the reason that policy, actually, people in the chat have it right, that policy was originally created so that people couldn't be denied citizenship if they were former slaves.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, that policy just kind of stuck around.
Yeah, but like, and before, like, think about it. Like, if you don't have the welfare state, then people really don't give a shit about wanting to be an American, right? Because, like, there's no welfare, so there's no reason. There's no incentive. And it's only recently that it's becoming a problem. I mean, but, like, America used to be, like, this harsh land. Like, think about it. Like, you go to the fucking New World, like, every single commodity of modern civilization fucks off, and you're going to this new place, you probably never come back. I mean, it was a punishment to send people to the U.S. It was called transportation. Like, there were criminals in the UK who committed crime, like burglary, rape, murder, and they would be like, okay, well, off to the U.S. you go. And
Yeah,
then
but no, listen. But then they sent them here, and they did two great things for us. First, they made rope. I brought that back again. But also, they helped us throw the T in the Harvard because of fuck the English.
Yeah, but like, no, you're absolutely right with that. But like, what I'm saying is that back then, people weren't trying to get into the U.S. You know, like they were trying to not get into the U.S. because like Europe was better. Only like the people who are desperate or seeking adventure would go to the U.S.
Or seeking glory, adventure, and freedom. Look, all I'm saying is our founding fathers, they may have been noble statesmen, but they were also fucking gangsters. You know, run guns, do drugs.
Yeah. No,
bang
absolutely.
hoes.
Like if you guys lost the war against the English, like the founding fathers would have got the rope. I mean, like there's no question about it. Like if you lose the rising up against the tyrannical British king, then well, death is the sentence.
Death is the sentence. Out of all your catchphrases, that is my favorite. You need to bring that back more.
It was like I think it was on Fox News. There was this imam, which was talking about diverse people from California, now, and he was like, "Death is the sentence." And this was like in 2016, where like everyone was trying. Everyone was trying.
You know what, V? You know what, V? I will buy you a stream deck so that we can get you a soundboard going, so you can actually get the original clip. Death is the sentence.
I mean, like, he had such an interesting. I remember. Like it was out of compassion. It was out of compassion. We need to do this because death is the sentence of compassion.
I mean, if Allah says it, perhaps
No,
he's
like
onto something.
if you assume,
all I'm saying is I haven't seen any twerking children in the Middle East.
If you assume the premise that there is actually a supernatural deity which can send people to eternal torment, like stopping someone from sinning might actually be an act of compassion in that situation.
I mean, it worked for the Crusades. We don't have to be picky. We just, burn the city, and then the ones who are chill, they'll go to heaven. So it's actually an upgrade.
Yeah,
for them.
like
really,
there were the Catalonians, I believe, and they believe that they believe that there's two gods. So there's like the evil God, which created the world, and then there's the good God, which is Jesus. Total heresy. But still.
That's the Gnostic heresy.
The Gnostic heresy. Yeah. So the problem with that is that they would emulate Jesus. So they would actually go with the clothes on their backs, travel around the world, and they would help people. Right? Like legitimately help people. And they believed that the church is evil, and they would say, well, look how wealthy the church is, and they're not helping you, we're helping you. So it was like a persuasive argument at the time. And the religion spread. It spread all out France, I believe, to the point where the church got very #concerned about it, because like they couldn't refute them. It's like, well, the church is not evil. Yes, it's evil. Look at you. Like you're wealthy. You're not living like Jesus said. So then the church started the crusade against France, and they invaded the city. And the question was like, how do you tell the Gnostics from the Catholics? And allegedly, the commander said, well, kill them all and let God sort them out.
The actual quote, I believe, wasn't worded that way. It was something more like God knows his own, and therefore God will guide you as you ransack the city, and if they're Catholic, you'll just know. It didn't really work out like that.
Yeah, well, obviously. Apparently,
turns out God didn't have a strong opinion that day.
You don't rile medieval people into a frenzy, and then come to the conclusion that, oh yeah, they're going to show this trade. I mean, like...
Yeah, I'm just saying that the only downside. Look, all I'm saying is all crusades are justified by definition, and we could have solved the French problem, and we wouldn't have Macron now.
I mean, God.
The problem is it didn't go far enough.
God was God anointed the Pope as God's vicar on earth, which means that everything the Pope does is justified.
Oh, let's not go that far. I'm still a sedevacantist.
I think there's like one Pope which died, and the Pope after him declared him a heretic, unburned his body, and set it afire. Like, I forgot which Pope was that, but that was like funny.
Papal politics make secular politics
like think about it. Like doesn't that fuck with the Lord a little bit? So like God says that whoever is the Pope is the vicar, right? So he's like kind of like the voice of God, sort of, right? So you have this guy. He does stuff, and then the next guy that comes up says, no, like the other guy, he was a heretic. Let's unbury his corpse, and then set it afire. Like, At what point, like, the people there say, well, hold on a little bit. Like, how do you know this guy is legit if the other guy wasn't?
Listen, all I'm saying is, have you ever had one of those situations where you accidentally mix up a word like egregious and erogenous, and you say something completely different, and then you have to backtrack and correct it? Well, popes do that too sometimes. It's fine. Everything's...
You know,
You thought I wouldn't bring that back too, but I did.
I remember I was playing in Dungeons and Dragons Sargon's Crusade, and it was like built based on Catholicism, and I was like,
I remember.
I really wanted to fuck with Sargon's lore, and I wanted to go and resurrect the previous pope.
Do you not remember that under every one of those episodes? Wait, maybe I was under. I can't. Never mind. I'll tell you that later.
But like,
I might have been issuing rule corrections under every episode for a little while on a different account.
no, like, imagine if you did that in real life, right? Like, you go into a medieval setting, and you got like the pope, right? And he's happy with the party, and you go back and you resurrect the previous popes. Maybe you resurrect some saints or some shit.
Well, that actually would lead to a theological crisis. Let me be a D&D nerd for a second. That's actually really interesting because, technically speaking, the way the resurrection spell works in D&D is you have to be willing to return. So if the pope, like the previous pope, was willing to return, that means he thinks the new pope is a fuck up, and you've got yourself a schism immediately.
Yeah. But not only that. It's probably like, I mean, it can be the human element. You know, he just wants to live again. Like, he's like, well, I don't care about any of that. I just want to be alive again. Maybe he's in hell or some shit. It's like, I want to have another go.
That's true. That's true. We're gonna have to discuss that on a whole different kind of stream at some point because I want your opinions on the D&D multiverse.
No, like I love.
I don't know if you've seen some of the new shit coming out. I saw you did a video on
we
on
need
the
to
new
talk
thing a bit,
about it. Yeah. No,
there's gonna be more.
I like taking D&D spells and just finding ways to fuck with them. Like for example, this is something that I found Overlord did as well, and it pisses me off because it was also my idea. But, well, Overlord uses it for spell scrolls, but I was thinking, like, you can actually feed people. Like, you catch a prisoner, right, like a human or whatever, and then you carve chunks of his flesh, and you use the healing spell so he re-heals, and then you sell the chunks of flesh as actual meat, and you have, like, an endless supply of meat if you do that.
Okay, two things. First, gross, but also second, very efficient. Good for a necromancer. I think the worst I've ever done is the time I decided to experiment and see if you could drown somebody in a bucket full of healing potion. It turns out, yes, it just takes a lot longer. That was the call the DM came to at the time.
Well, yeah, because like eventually you're going to drink all that shit.
Well, you say that, but it's different when you're drowning. Turns out
yeah,
suffocation doesn't do hit point damage, so it does eventually kill you.
I would say no. Like, you can drown someone in a healing potion bucket simply because you're supposed to ingest the healing potion. You're supposed to drink it, not snort it.
Yeah, but I mean, you're basically asking them to do an inverted keg stand at that point, and not everyone can pull that off. That's a high-level maneuver. I know, I've tried.
Alright, so that was one. The other thing I wanted to fuck with is the resurrection spell. Like, there is just so many loosey things you can do with it, right? Like, you can resurrect a known criminal, and you can't sentence him again because you already paid for the crime. And like, especially like someone really vile, like Jack the Ripper or some shit. You can resurrect like a previous king, but like not someone that's close to the actual king, like not the father, but like the great-great-grandfather, and then he's going to have a claim to the throne. You can resurrect like a previous pope. You can resurrect saints. You know, like things that people worship after they died, and no one expects them that they would walk back again. And you know, like, it's just like, what do you do then?
Well, funny thing is the lower level resurrection spells, the cheaper ones, those ones require an intact body, so they don't work after you've been dead for a little while.
No, it's the only it's the last one. You gotta you gotta be level 20.
They also.
You gotta be level 20.
Yeah, you have to be max level. But at that point, you're like, at that point, you're chilling with Jesus yourself anyway. So,
but like,
I mean, it's not that
like the purpose is to troll. Like, the purpose is to fuck with people, you know?
Like, I mean, I'm just saying, trickery is a cleric domain. Doing miracles just to fuck with people is literally part of the job.
Yes. Resurrect mustache man. Oh my fucking god. Can you imagine, like, resurrecting Hitler? Like, what?
I can't, but many screenwriters have.
No, but like, okay, so you can't kill him because you already paid for it. Oh no, you can't. Yeah, he never got trial. trial. Like, if you resurrect Hitler, they can trial him and they can kill him again.
Wait, hold up. Could you imagine if you somehow managed to like resurrect Hitler and put him on trial, and he got off on a technicality? What if Hitler came back to life and was put on trial, and he was acquitted? Doesn't count anymore? What do you do then?
And every time someone accuses him of shit, he gets to sue, and he goes like, "You're slandering me. I've been acquitted for that."
Could you imagine Hitler going up on the stand and saying, I mean, really, 6 million? Jesus Christ. Wasn't there a German movie about that? It was like Guess Who's Back or something like that, where Hitler came back and everyone thought he was just making a joke. And then it turned out he was really persuasive and people kind of like were getting on board with what he was saying.
Yeah.
I remember seeing clips of that.
Man,
we should watch that movie.
That would actually make for a really great roleplay. Like, you need to find the setting, and then you'd get banned from Twitter for doing it. But, like,
oh, jeez.
So after a teenager, Jesus, we're going back to this, managed to hijack the verified accounts of Obama. Oh, look, a teenager hijacked the verified accounts of Obama, Joe Biden, Musk, and others. Twitter chief executive at the time, Jack Dorsey, asked Zatko to join him, saying that he could help the world by fixing Twitter's security. So this is how they hired him.
My question is, okay, so you hacked multiple famous people's accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe as a teenager you think that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you pick which ones? There's enough famous people that you're going to have trouble picking which ones are funniest.
Well, apparently Obama, Joe Biden.
Well, Obama's easy. You just put the letter N in one tweet and delete every other tweet and just leave it. Joe Biden, that one's a little harder because he's so even back then he was so confused that like you could tweet anything and people would just think it was him.
I mean, I wonder what you find in the DMs, right? Because these people must use DMs.
Oh my God. I bet you Barack Obama's DM requests, because he probably had DMs open, right? So he probably got a lot of DM requests from people sending him titties.
Oh, but like there was another thing. Like I believe if you followed Obama, he would follow you back.
You say that, but I thought the same thing about Mohammed bin Salman, and it didn't really work. So
you know,
I thought we were gonna be Steam friends.
You know what?
He's gonna get me into Dota 2. We were gonna talk about anime. It would be great.
You know what? I'm going to follow Obama.
You're gonna follow Obama?
I'm going to follow Obama.
I don't think Obama would like me very much.
I fucking care. You know. I'm going to follow him right now. Barack!
I don't think Obama would like me very much.
Barack! Get into my following! Ah, there we go. I'm following Obama. Let's see if he follows me back.
Yeah, I don't think he would follow me back because I still think his wife has a penis. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think that, you know, I'm sure it's a very impressive penis, but I still think she does.
Do you think it takes a while, or is it, like, instant?
What, for Obama to follow you back?
Yeah,
I don't think he's following you back.
I saw people getting followed by Obama, and they were fucking nobodies, and it's like, why is Obama following this YouTuber?
Well, you know, were they American? Because if they were not American, that's in line with Democrat policy. Well, you're not American. Maybe he will follow you back.
I mean,
and you can hang out with Obama.
Maybe, I don't know. Like, the thing is, there was this YouTuber, I forgot who. I forgot because everyone was making fun of it. It's like, look, Obama is following this person. And then, like, this person spoke about it, and it's like, oh, Obama followed me. And then Obama blocked him. I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was Mundane Matt.
I think I remember this.
Yeah, it was either Shoe and Head, Mundane Matt. Well, it was like someone like that, right? And one day they're like, they're posting this. It's like, Obama's following me. And I get the fuck out. Why is Obama following this YouTuber? And I look at it, and it's like, yeah, and behold, like Obama was following them. So then they made a video about it, going yak, yak, yak. And then Obama blocks them.
I'm gonna be real with you. It's a special kind of giant L. That's like a giant neon, like, that is a burning L cast in the sky by God that you got blocked by a world leader, former world leader, for clout chasing.
Yeah.
You're never gonna recover from that. That's your legacy. Like, oh my God.
I mean, he got the clout. Oh, I got one notification. I got one notification. Chat. Is it? No, it's not.
No. Okay, if you do get followed by Barack Obama, all I'm saying is you got to set up a collab. Just you and Obama and like 5 VTubers. Imagine getting like me and Pippa and maybe who else? No, get Lumi as well. All with Barack Obama. We could play something hilarious.
I don't think Face Connect would allow you anywhere near, or me for that matter, anywhere near Yuri or Lumi. No, that's dude. Like they said no.
Oh well, I mean, there's several reasons that I shouldn't be allowed anywhere near anybody who's considered wholesome or likable.
You're nowhere near Lumi or Yuri or Pippa or whomever. You know, Yuri. Sorry, not Yuri.
I don't know.
Man, do you know how difficult it is to like when you want to help Pippa schedule a stream with someone? Like the way it works. Like first you suggest it to her, then she finds the person whether or not it's interesting, and then she has to ask her handlers. Like she's got handlers, and the handlers usually take a while, and they go like okay, and then you have to ask the other person. It's like okay, her handler said yes. Like I'm trying to set her up. I'm trying to set her up with the BitchShoot CEO for an interview, right? So I gotta ask the BitchShoot CEO, hey, like, do you want to get interviewed by an anime girl? Wishy-cushy. And you know, like, oh, I don't know, like, oh, come on, look, VTubing is popular, you know, like you can bring people to your platform, like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And then I talk to the bunny, and I'm like, oh, do you want to interview the BitchShoot CEO? I was like, oh my god, like, you know the BitchShoot CEO? What the fuck? I was like, oh, LOL. And it's like, oh yeah, I need to ask my handler. And
yeah, I'm so cool. I know everybody. I'm popular. I'm with the cool kids.
Well, the BitchShoot CEO is actually a very nice guy. Like, I'm pretty sure that...
Is he?
Yeah, like, you can hit him up.
I'm not that familiar with alt tech, to be honest.
You can hit him up. He will talk to you. Like, he actually set up my channel on BitchShoot. I didn't do it. I didn't know how. Like, he literally did it.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, maybe I should say hi to the guy. I mean, yeah, I could probably start using alt tech. I probably should.
Yeah, he put me, like, this really long password to the point where I don't think I can log into my BitchShoot channel, but it's there. Yeah, I think, like... whom else? Like Sticks Hexenhammer, he probably knows all of them. Like he knows the Odyssey guys. He knows. I think he might know someone from Rumble. But yeah, like Sticks is the alt guy.
I mean, you say that. Sticks seems like a nice guy to me, but I have a policy that I don't talk to anybody who's not wearing a shirt.
I think. Well, it's understandable.
I'm just saying, I would be so distracted. I would be looking at his nipples.
Oh, I got someone following me. I got. Fa sumeta nutre. Oh, some French dude. Do you think like first the French
dude? Obama's secret French alter ego?
No, it's like the cup drinker. You know, like he he goes like after the previous incident. Obama has like the cup drinker. He follows the person following him. Like checks the Twitter, sees if everything is okay, and then.
Oh yes, I see. It's like a secret undercover alt. That makes sense. Maybe. Listen. All I'm saying is your Obama follow could be any moment. Any moment you could be blessed by the glory of the Obama administration. I'm sure your check is in the mail at any point. Oh. We've gotten way off this topic.
Yeah. I need to this is a long fucking article, man. So anyway, like many in technology, Dorsey had admitted that the hacker history as a trailblazer, according to the 3 people familiar with his remarks on the matter. Okay, so Dorsey hired this whistleblower, and apparently he blew the whistle after Dorsey left. So that's like the revenge of Dorsey. But at Twitter's outgoing counter problems more widespread than he realized, and the leadership that didn't act on his concerns, according to the complaint. Ooh.
Well, you know, this is one of those things again where Dorsey still has a lot of pull in Twitter. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And as soon as he left Twitter, he basically turned around and said, "Yeah, hey, it was kind of my job to pretend everything was okay, but things have never been okay. That shit is fucked."
No, I think Dorsey lost control of his company. That's definitely the case. I think like they had the HR empire build at that corporation to the point where. Yeah, I used to make the joke, well, Dorsey, you can't be a cog in the machine and then complain about the smell of oil. Like, you went along with the left and with all the progressive issues. Like, maybe Dorsey genuinely believes in free speech, because, like, he actually tweeted that in the beginning, like, oh, we need to use Twitter to speak truth to power and shit. But, like, there's no way that he could have made the change at that company happen.
Man, I don't even think Dorsey could control his ayahuasca trip when he's touring the mountains of Tibet and, shitting himself. I control a company, my ass.
So, Twitter continued to suffer high-profile hacks and security violations, including in 2017. when a contract worker took over Trump's account. 2020 hack in which Florida teen tricked Twitter employee and won access to verified accounts. Twitter said it put additional safeguards. Well, like you can put as many fucking safeguards as you want, but like if the human error is there, like if a Florida teen tricked Twitter employees, I mean, like what security is against that? Like how can you?
The only security you have at that point is getting smarter employees, but the problem is they wouldn't agree with the Twitter policy.
Probably. A former FTC official who worked in the case said that the agency was badly understaffed at the time and that the law enforcement division had failed to keep a close eye on multiple companies after reaching privacy settlements. This year, the Justice Department accused Twitter of asking users for their phone numbers in the name of increasing security, then using the numbers for marketing. Twitter agreed to pay a $150 million fine for allegedly breaking the 2011 teen order, which barred the company from making misrepresentations about the security of personal data. Oh, so that's why it's asking for a
want to hear something funny?
Oh, nutty.
I have a phone number that was totally cold. It was used for only very specific purposes. It was not on any lists. It was specially set up, the whole bit.
Very cold.
I gave it to two places. I gave it to Twitter and I gave it to Discord for verification.
Mm-hmm.
And now that phone number gets nothing but spam.
How the fuck? So who do you think did it?
Nothing but spam.
Who do you think did it?
Both. It's both of them. They both sell your phone number to spammers. That's what they do.
Jesus fucking.
If they say otherwise, they're lying.
I don't get that probably because I'm from Romania, so like the marketers aren't interested in international phones, but like that's wow. The Whistleblower 8 complaint include allegations that suggest that Twitter security practices were even worse than the regulators know. After the whistleblower joined the company, he found it made little progress since the 2011 settlement. The complaint alleges that he was able to reduce the backlog of safety cases, including harassment and threats, from 1 million to 200,000. Oh, wow. So this is the Johnny, the whistleblower? He reduces...
You say that, but I mean, what qualifies as a harassment and threat on Twitter is really low bar, so...
Incredibly low bar, yes. Like it is so low that there's no way of going under the bar.
All I'm saying is, haha, weakness.
But Zatko saw major gaps in what the company was doing to satisfy its obligations to the FTC. According to the complaint, in Zatko's interpretation, according to the 2011 order required Twitter to implement software development lifecycle program, a standard process for making sure new code is free of dangerous bugs. The complaint alleges that other employees had been telling the board and the FTC that they were making progress in rolling out that program to Twitter systems, but Zatko alleges that they didn't.
I want to point out that not having an SDLC in software development is like... It's like having a car without a windshield. You technically can do it, but it's not really a good idea because you're eventually going to get like something in your teeth.
You're going to get the
bugs.
bugs.
You don't want to do that.
The current and former employees also agreed with the complaint's assertion that past reports to various privacy regulators were misleading. Wait, but didn't Twitter investigate itself and found no problem? It's just like one disgruntled employee, and now the current and former employees agree that the complaint is legit?
I'm just gonna point out that in the sense of Twitter investigating itself, since the whole complaint is that they're incompetent, why would we assume their investigation would be competent?
Maybe their investigation is genuine, like it's like like good faith investigation, but they're so incompetent that yeah.
Now, here's my question. The really funny outcome is if we find out that everything was just a big misunderstanding and Twitter was actually fine all along.
Nah.
Doesn't sound believable, does it?
No. Occam's razor and all that. For example, they said the company implied that it had destroyed all data on users who asked, but the material had spread so widely inside Twitter's networks, it was impossible to know for sure. The current employee said Twitter had just completed a project known as Project Eraser that would ensure the deletion of such data. So basically, this is all about Twitter security, right? Like, there's no funny social justice business. But it does seem like there's a lot of incompetent people, and the executives do not want to hear that there are problems. Like, they want to hear the bottom line. Like, tell me how we're going to make money. Tell me how you're going to grow.
Well, that one in particular, the not being able to find and correctly erase user data, I can say I have worked in that industry. It's what's called compliance or regulatory compliance. Basically, in certain companies and certain policies, you have to have certain kinds of communications and data saved in a format that's readable in a certain way for legal reasons. And it's mostly boring. But what is interesting is if you fuck that up and you delete something you're not supposed to or fail to delete something you are supposed to, people go to jail all the time. That happens regularly.
Johnny's go to jail?
Oh yeah, Johnny's go to jail. Johnny's go to jail for 10 years. Yes.
Send Johnny's to jail. I like Johnny's in jail. 10 years. Jesus fucking
10 plus. Can go higher than that.
Look, I hate Johnny's as much as the next guy, but I think 10 years is a little bit exaggerated.
Well, they go to the nice jail. It's basically a resort with windows you can't open all the way.
So it's like a Johnny
minor
jail.
Inconvenience.
Johnny jail. Do you think Iron Mouse's Johnny is in jail?
I don't know. I could always message her on Steam right now and ask.
Do you know what Iron Mouse's mod did?
I saw that, yes. So
for those of you who don't know, Lumi from Face Connect said in a video that she is a retard. Like she herself, right? So this person claims that she herself is a retard. And then Iron Mouse's Johnny acted like a lightning rod and took the slur that Yumi assigned to herself and took that slur and internalized it and started complaining on Twitter about how he did not hear the slur for 10 years and now he is literally shaking you guys and he doesn't know how he is going to get it up.
I mean, she's on Steam right now. You want me to send her a message? We can find out.
Wait. Hold on. You got a contact with Iron Mouse?
Dude, I just said, look in the Discord. She's online right now.
Let me check.
We've been Steam friends for years.
All right,
before she blew up.
Can you can you ask her if she wants to stream with Pippa?
She doesn't answer my messages. She got a whole new set of friends as soon as she blew up.
I see.
I have not heard from her since. She is not nearly as sweet as she acts. Extremely mercenary.
Well, it's been nice.
You're getting the inside tea here, only on V-Stream, guys.
Yeah. Well, you know, maybe you can just slip some money in her pocket and be like, hey, for $1,000, would you like to stream with Pipkin Pippa?
I mean, you say that, but I would have to go through an entire procedure to get anywhere near her pocket. I'd be lucky if I made it anywhere close without getting shot.
I mean, to be honest, they probably hate Pippa at Vishojo, don't they?
I'm like 95% sure they hate me because I know for a fact that one of the other members of VShojo definitely tried to cancel me at one point. I got the Twitter dog pile and the whole thing.
Didn't you get like the seamstress from Face Connect also me tooing you? Like, is there a single VTuber that doesn't fucking hate you at this point?
All I'm saying is I seem to put a negative impression on e-girls when I run into them. I'm not sure why.
Should I be worried?
No, I'm not worried about it. I think it's just because I'm cuter than
am I going to? No. My question is like, am I going to make a tweet longer about like my co-host Spooky? He tweeted this at me and then he sexually harassed me in DMs and
I'm gonna tell you right now, V. If I ever sexually harass you, you'll know.
All right. Well, yeah, but that's not my question. Like, well, my question is, will I make a tweet longer about it? Right? Like, it's not that I wouldn't know. My question is,
I'm gonna say I want to see that twit longer. Let's make that happen.
All right, chat. We're going to end the stream for my asshole safety. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you guys think of Spooky. Maybe I'll have him again sometimes and have his actual avatar on screen. And see you guys in the comment section. Take care.
Chat. Before we go, chat. Submit on V's Discord. Submit suggestions to go in the twit longer.